WrestleMania 31 is only 9 days away from when I film this, and I could not be any more excited for the event. I know some people do not share that same excitement, and that's completely okay. The card has the potential to be very, very good or very, very bad. It could very well go either way come next Sunday, the 29th. But still, though, I think it is shaping up to be a pretty strong show from what they've been building up. And I know the build to WrestleMania has not been great. I will say that much. It's been a really, really good show one week, or a really, really bad show the next, with WWE and Monday Night Raw and the pay-per-views and whatever. So they've been really flip-flopping back and forth and kind of giving me mixed feelings about this show. But that's what today's video blog was supposed to be about, explaining why I am excited for WrestleMania and why some other people may not be. But I figured that'd be way too short of a video because there's not many reasons for both sides. So I thought I would switch it up a bit in terms of my top 5 WrestleMania theme songs. Now, I have this little tradition coming out of the February pay-per-view, whether it be Elimination Chamber, No Way Out, Fastlane this year. From that point to WrestleMania Sunday, the 5, 6, 7 weeks that we have in between those pay-per-views, I blast the WrestleMania theme songs, all the past ones, from 23, Ladies and Gentlemen, to Celebrate from last year, to Limp Bizkit, My Way from WrestleMania 17. I blast those theme songs non-stop on my iPod, and that's what gets me in the WrestleMania mood. I think WWE goes all out for their theme songs every year. Not every year is an amazing theme song. Not every year is a home run. This year, I don't know what the second song is, but it's something from the guy, I think Kid Ink or whatever his name is. He sang one of the songs for the Fastlane pay-per-view next month, and I thought that was trash. But the other song, though, Rise by David Guetta or whatever his name is, he also took part in one of the songs sang for WrestleMania 28 with not Madonna, it was like somebody else, I don't know, but it was a good song though, and I like Rise like every single time that video package comes on. Like when it first aired a couple months ago, I wasn't completely sold on it, but then they sold me on the song. Like, you get used to it and you really get into it. So I think that's a great song and a really fitting song for WrestleMania, so I'm glad we have at least one really good WrestleMania song this year. But going back to what I was saying before, WrestleMania theme songs can either, I'm not going to say they can either make or break an event, but they can make a WrestleMania feel more special. Like 27, for example, which I'll get into when I get into my list in just a minute. But that WrestleMania will not be remembered for anything great. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. That was, I don't know about the worst WrestleMania of all time, but definitely down on that list considering how disappointing it was. I think it was more disappointing than it was terrible, in my opinion anyway. But one of the things that made it great was that amazing theme song, Written in the Stars by Tiny Temp, I think his name is. And that was a great song. So I think a pay-per-view theme song, not only for WrestleMania, can really enhance an event. Like I've talked about in the past, like how, I mean, it's the little things that matter the most to me, but I love, now I'm a traditionalist in this way, I'm very old school in thinking that right before a pay-per-view, WWE, I almost said WCW for some reason, I wish, WWE kind of runs down the pay-per-view card. They don't do this anymore, but they used to years ago. And I got into wrestling in 08, so they obviously did it for years before that, but they stopped doing it maybe by 2010, 2011, I can't remember exactly. I can't pinpoint what pay-per-view it was that they stopped doing it for. But like the Raw or SmackDown before the show, they would run down the entire card for the pay-per-view with the theme song in the background. And that was what really made the event feel more special. And I wish they would do something like that this year for WrestleMania. I'm not counting on it. Set to the song Rise, I think it'd be amazing. But yeah, just, small stuff like that I think can really make a pay-per-view feel more special than it already is. So as for my list, my top 5 favorite WrestleMania theme songs. Now, do not mix this up with the best WrestleMania theme songs. There is a distinct difference between best and favorite. These are just all personal likes, some personal favorite songs of mine when it comes to WrestleMania theme songs. Favorite is very subjective for everybody. So your favorite might be "I'm Coming Home" by P. Diddy from WrestleMania 29, and that's completely okay. Everyone has their different likes, their dislikes, everything. So these are my top 5 WrestleMania theme songs. So coming in at number 5, I put in "Ladies and Gentlemen" by Saliva. Is it Saliva or Saliva? Someone told me last year that it was Saliva, but everyone else that I talked to said it was Saliva, and that's what I'm going with. The same band that has sung the theme song for Extreme Rules 2010, Batista's theme song, most notably "I Walk Alone," which is one of my favorite theme songs. So Ladies and Gentlemen, I thought was great, and while watching WrestleMania 23 a couple weeks ago, I thought it did a lot to make that event feel really, really special. And you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please, welcome to the show." And please excuse my bad singing. I'm no singer. But, I thought that was a great song, and it was very, very fitting of the show of shows, no pun intended, the WrestleMania itself, and I thought it was added a real great feel to it for WrestleMania 23. That wasn't one of my favorite WrestleManias watching it back. It was a pretty good show. It wasn't like phenomenal or anything like that, but I thought the theme song itself was really, really good, and I've heard that elsewhere for, I don't know where I heard it before. I heard it somewhere else before I heard it for that pay-per-view, but, years ago when I first got back into wrestling, or when I first got into wrestling in 2008. But I thought that was a great song, enhanced the overall atmosphere for WrestleMania 23 and gave it that big fight feel, the welcome to the show thing, and the lyrics itself screamed WrestleMania. And it's the rock songs like that, and again, all subjective, but it's the hard rock songs like that by Saliva, by Rev Theory, and all these other bands. Skillet I like too, that's Christian rock, but it's kind of along the same lines. Bands like that I'm a fan of, the rock bands, like that's just my kind of favorite genre of music to begin with. But I don't know, I feel like those are the kind of songs that fit wrestling more than the fucking pop shit. And sometimes pop songs can be good. Sometimes they can fit to WrestleMania, and a few of these songs on this list are pop songs. But for the most part, though, like the shit by Flo Rida, Flo Rida did one of the theme songs for WrestleMania 28, which I didn't like, because they used the same exact theme for Survivor Series the year before. I forgot what it was called, but I was not a fan of that. I'm not a huge Flo Rida fan. He did the theme song for SummerSlam last year, which wasn't bad. But yeah, I just don't feel like pop songs really fit with wrestling, the overall genre of wrestling, and who it kind of appeals to and applies to. But I thought, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 5 was a great song. Number 4 was Bones for WrestleMania 29, another WrestleMania that I was not a huge fan of. I was not very fond of that WrestleMania. The only good match on that show, in my opinion, was CM Punk versus Undertaker. Just kind of a bland show. Kind of felt like a 4-hour episode of Raw. And the main theme for that year's WrestleMania was I'm Coming Home. And I thought that was fitting too. I thought that was a good song. They first used it for one of the Tribute to the Truth shows back in 2010. And I like the song. I don't mind P. Diddy at all. But I felt like Bones, because it was a rock, not rock, but like alternative rock. I'm not a huge music expert, so I can't really say like what exact genre it was, what specific genre. But I thought it was very, very fitting. And I'm Coming Home was fitting as well because they went back to the New York, New Jersey area where WrestleMania was first born, and it should have been in in MSG, that pay-per-view. I think it was in the Izod, not the Izod Center. It was in MetLife in like the New Jersey, New York area, but it should have been at MSG, whatever it is. But still, I like the I'm Coming Home thing, but it did not scream. Like, I don't listen to that event, and I listen to that song like now on my iPod and think, wrestling, like WrestleMania. I think of Tribute to the Troops, which is more fitting for that event too, considering how the Troops are coming home or have been home for a couple of years now. But Bones, I cannot remember the exact artist for that song. Excuse me, I'm sorry for that. But the song itself was really, really good. And it was most notably used for the build between CM Punk and Undertaker. And I don't know, just listening to that song, I mean, for any song too, when any one of your favorite songs that brings back a memory or memories of that time period when you first discovered it or first started liking it, that's what this song does for me. It kind of brings back memories of my final few months of senior year in high school and WrestleMania 29, how big of a disappointment that show was. But I don't know, it's like one of those slower songs, not hard rock in your face like Ladies and Gentlemen, but had a nice beat to it. I thought it was enjoyable and I liked it. So I like Bones. Comes in at number 4, my top 5 favorite WrestleMania themes. Number 3, and 2 and 3 are interchangeable because I think they're both amazing. It just kind of has to do with personal bias. Number 3, I Made It by Kevin Rudolph, I think is a great theme song and one of the more fitting theme songs for WrestleMania as well. Like I said, it's a prime example of a pop song done right. Again, not a major Kevin Rudolph fan, but all the songs that I've heard by him that have been done for wrestling. Let It Rock for the Royal Rumble 2009, that song, and Welcome to the World I don't think was used for any wrestling event. I just heard that and liked it. But I do like Kevin Rudolph, though. I thought this was a great song. I Made It for WrestleMania 26 in 2010. My first I mean, it was not my first WrestleMania, but it was the first WrestleMania that I watched, like, live with my buddy John over his house, @_John Stargan on Twitter. Make sure to follow him. I thought that was a great song, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of pop songs being used for wrestling, WrestleMania, whatever, but I felt like in this case, it was fitting, it was catchy, it was like 5 minutes long, it was really, really cool. I like listening to this day, and that, I made it to the big show, I made it to the main event of WrestleMania, I made it. So I think that's a great song, really, really enjoy that. So I thought that was a great fitting song for WrestleMania 26, one of my, not favorite WrestleManias again. And next week, by the way, next week's video blog, I'll just say this now, the topic will be my top 5 favorite WrestleManias. So be on the lookout for that next Friday, on only 2 days before WrestleMania 31, baby, we're so close. But, what was I saying? Oh, I Made It, I thought was a great theme song for WrestleMania 26. Coming in at number 2, Light It Up by Rev Theory. So like I said, number 2 and 3 are interchangeable on this list, because I thought you can, switch them either way on the rankings, and that I really, really like them both. And the only reason, the only edge that Light It Up has over I Made It, it is more of a rock song, which is not why I put it higher on the list. It's because 2008, that was used for WrestleMania 24 in 08, and I wasn't even around for 24. I actually got into wrestling like a few weeks after that, coincidentally enough. But it was the first WrestleMania theme song that I discovered late 2008, and I listened to it the entire year of 2009. I thought it was a great song. And that was before, the theme songs for WrestleMania 25 became apparent. Shoot to Thrill and War Machine, which are also pretty good songs. But I thought Light It Up, it's a great song. It just gives me chills just listening to it on my iPod, because I think 24 was a very underrated WrestleMania. And I watched it back on the, not WWE Network, but on DVD a couple weeks ago. I reviewed it here on the channel. Cheap plug, make sure you check out the review. I thought that was a great song, a hard rock song. Rev Theory, I think, is a very, very good band. They also did the theme song for Randy Orton, of course. They did Hell Yeah for One Night Stand 2008, that exact same year. And I believe there was another song that they did too that I cannot remember off the top of my head. But, I think Rev Theory is a great band. They did a great song. The music video is nothing special. I watched it, right after 24. And the music video sucks. I mean, it's not a great music video. But I love the song, though. So if you type in, I get chills watching it. But if you type in on YouTube, WrestleMania 24 card, full card or whatever, there's a clip on YouTube of the commentators on SmackDown running down the card, Jonathan Coachman and Michael Cole, I think it is, running down the card for 24, set to that song. Along with Snow, I thought Snow by Red Hot Chili Peppers was like what Bones was to WrestleMania 29, kind of that slower second-tier theme song, excuse me, that's a tongue twister, second-tier theme song. That was what kind of Bones was to WrestleMania 29, and I like Snow. But I thought Light It Up was the perfect theme song for 24. And in that video that I was talking about before, they run down the entire card for 24, set to that theme song, and it just gives me chills just watching, because not only is this song amazing, but that WrestleMania itself I thought was really, really good and above average, in my opinion anyway. So we get to number 1, and anyone that knows me knows that this is no surprise, and it shouldn't be to any of you. But number 1 for me is Written in the Stars by Tiny Tempa. I freaking love that song, and I still listen to it to this day. And I'm just like a weirdo like this, but I only try to listen to those kind of songs like Bright Lights, Bigger City, one of the theme songs for WrestleMania 2011, the exact same year. I listen to the theme songs around that same time. I try not to listen to them any other time of the year. I try to save them and make them feel special by listening to them nonstop over the course of the road to WrestleMania. I know, I'm just weird like that. But, listening to that over the last couple of weeks, I first listened to it for the first time in 2015. I think on the 27th of February, I was right about to leave home to go to that WWE live event on the 28th. It just gives me chills just listening to it. And unlike 24, and unlike with Light It Up, it does not bring back fond memories of the event itself. As we all know, WrestleMania 27 was not a great show. It was not a great show at all. It was actually a very disappointing show and one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. But it does, however, bring back memories of the year of 2011 for me personally. And even though that year was not amazing in wrestling, I don't know, I just find it, like I've said in past videos, was my favorite year in wrestling for all the excitement from a wrestling standpoint, for everything that was going on in my life at that time. I don't know. I just love that year in wrestling, and I thought this song was perfect for it. And Written in the Stars, much like I Made It, was very, very fitting for the WrestleMania feel in that, it screams WrestleMania. And I think like I Made It, too, it was that song, I don't know what it is, but I made it, or I'm sorry, Written in the Stars came out like the year before, because I remember listening on some station or looking it up or something, and that song actually came out in like the summer of 2010 or something, but it didn't really start to get mainstream until like the spring of the following year. And it was funny too, because after you started hearing it on the road to WrestleMania with WWE, like on TV and stuff for Raw and whatever, I would start to hear it on the radio too, so that was what kind of enhanced my love of that song, and I saw other people putting like the lyrics as their status on Facebook and whatever. But yeah, 27 itself was not a great WrestleMania, but it is one of the shining lights of that show, because I thought that was a great theme song. I really, really enjoyed it, and is by far my favorite WrestleMania theme song ever. So honorable mentions to My Way by Limp Bizkit. I love that song. Listening to it back, it's not, I mean, I wasn't obviously around for WrestleMania 17, but it does, give me that feeling of that big fight feel for Austin versus Rock, and I love watching that video package back, one of the best WrestleMania video packages of all time. Other theme songs, I'm trying to think. Snow, like I mentioned before, for 24. War Machine and Shoot to Thrill, both good songs. I like AC/DC, so I thought those were good songs for WrestleMania 25. 26, Be Yourself by Audioslave, another good song. One of those nice, slower, second-tier songs. I like that one. 27, Hangman by Rev. Oh, that was another song by Rev Theory. Hangman. I thought that was a really good song. That was kind of the secondary song for WrestleMania 27. That was also, I think, used for a time as the theme for SmackDown later on that year. So that was a good song. 28, I can't remember many songs aside from there was the David Guerrero one, and then there was also Invincible by Machine Gun Kelly. I thought that was a really good song. He performed that at WrestleMania. And then there was a song performed by Flow Rider, which I did not enjoy, because like I said, they used that for Survivor Series the year prior, so I thought it was just stupid. But Invincible by Machine Gun Kelly I thought was a good song. A little bit on the shorter side, but still a good song. 29, I'm Coming Home was good. 30, Celebrate by Kid Rock is up there as well in the honorable mentions. I thought, Kid Rock is not one of my favorite artists. And he was also used for WrestleMania 25, too, for So Hot in the Divas Battle Royal, which is also kind of a risque but good song. I thought Celebrate kind of captured that feel of the New Orleans Mardi Gras festival atmosphere, that aura around in New Orleans when WrestleMania 30 was going on, that celebrate the 30-year anniversary of WrestleMania. So I thought that was a really good song and fitting of that event. And Legacy 2 by Eminem I thought was a really, really good song for WrestleMania itself, but specifically for the video package between Cena and Wyatt for that year's Mania. Not one of my favorite feuds following that point, or not one of my favorite matches from that show, but the song itself really enhanced the video package and the feed, my excitement for that match going into WrestleMania 30. So, that's going to do it for my top 5 WrestleMania theme songs of all time. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section below, or on Twitter at WrestleRant, or on Facebook at Graham Jason Matthews. Let me know what your favorite WrestleMania theme songs of all time are. And of course, also on the honorable mentions, I forgot to mention about Rise for this year's Mania. I thought it was a really good song. And yeah, I listened to that like non-stop. Getting gone. Getting gone. I thought it was a great song. And then when they say something about ego in like the first lyric of the song, they show like a picture of Seth Rollins with some smug smirk on his face when they're showing the video package. I don't know, just something about that just resonates with me. I thought it was so fucking funny. I thought it was great. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys in terms of what your favorite WrestleMania theme songs are. I know this video is a little bit on the longer side, closer to 20 minutes, so I apologize for my incoherent rambling. But yeah, hopefully you guys are in the WrestleMania spirit, and you should be. We're only 9 days away from WrestleMania 31. And if you're not excited for the show, do what I told you to do and go back and listen to all these great theme songs in WrestleMania history. They will by far get you in the mood for the event. So in the meantime and in between time, folks, thank you for watching my latest video blog, and I'll catch you guys next Friday.